Hey everyone, Rajat here. So Linux is an essential piece of tooling every software developer out there needs to know in today's world, because most of the servers that are out there run Linux, and quite a lot of tooling is being developed for Linux. So knowing Linux is a really great advantage a developer can have. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can create a workspace for yourself where you have the second system or a secondary system running Linux, and how to connect everything easily in your home, right? So I will quickly show you how to access that secondary system, secondary Linux based system from a Windows PC, because most of you might be running Windows at your home computer. So if you have a crappy laptop lying around somewhere in your house, or you have some secondary PC system, you can easily convert that thing into a Linux system and use it in your day-to-day developer workflows. Okay, so let me show you my setup. So this is my workspace. This is the Windows 10 desktop computer. Okay, this one. And over here I have my router. This one is from Jio. And over here I have this Dell 15-inch Inspiron laptop that used to be my primary computer for a really long time, but now it is acting as a secondary system which runs Pop! OS, which is a distribution based on Ubuntu. So if I can zoom in over here, you can see that I have connected the system. If I can show you, okay, so over here I have connected the charger, and this charger is connected to the inverter port which is located over here. So this is the UPS supply. So this laptop is always on and it is always ready to serve my request. And I have connected one LAN wire from this router to my PC. So my PC, the Ubuntu system, always have a working internet connection and a static IP over my LAN. Okay, so the IP of this system does not change, and this system is always reachable from other systems that were on this particular network. So one more LAN wire from this router is going into this PC. So basically this PC and that particular laptop is on a LAN connection. So this is my current setup. Now I will show you how I have connected everything on the software side, so that I can seamlessly switch into Ubuntu's environment whenever I want to run any Linux based utility. So I'll switch over to my computer system and then we will see how I have connected everything.
Okay, so the very first step I did was to figure out the IP of my Ubuntu machine. So before I start, I would like to mention that I would be using Pop! OS or Ubuntu system intermittently, and both of these things imply the same system because Pop! OS is a flavor of Ubuntu. Okay, so in order to figure out the IP address of my Ubuntu machine, I logged into the Ubuntu system and issued this command. If I can type it over here, the command is ifconfig. So basically you have to open the terminal and type in this ifconfig command. Now I have WSL installed on this system. I can show you what this command produces. So if I can log into my Ubuntu WSL system, I can show you what this command produces. So ifconfig, it is not installed. Sudo apt install net tools. Okay, I am showing you via the WSL system, but you can run this command on an actual system which you are running. Okay, so run this command ifconfig. Okay, and it is going to produce an output like this. So your IP is mentioned over here. Okay, so take that IP out and then you can connect to your machine. How? So the IP of my Ubuntu machine is 192.168 29 and 62. So this is the IP I got from that command. Now I am going to show you how to connect to my Ubuntu system over LAN. In order to connect to your Ubuntu system, you need to have this piece of software OpenSSH server installed on your Ubuntu machine. So run this command sudo apt install OpenSSH in the terminal of your Ubuntu system, and then this server will be installed and it will be ready to take a request. So now you have the IP of the Ubuntu system and you have OpenSSH server installed on Ubuntu. Now you can connect to the Ubuntu system from your Windows machine. So open your terminal and type in SSH and the IP you obtained from running ifconfig 29 and 62. Okay, so it will ask for the password. So since I am logged in from a username Rajat, it is readily assuming that the username is going to be Rajat on the target system, that is Ubuntu as well. But I can show you the verbose command. So SSH, name of the user that is located on that server using which you want to log in into Ubuntu, and then the IP of the Ubuntu system. Okay, and then it will ask for the password for that user, and once you type in the password, you will be logged into that particular user's account in the Ubuntu machine. Now these commands are getting relayed over to my Ubuntu system. These commands are not getting run over my Windows machine. Okay, so this is the Ubuntu system. If I can show you LSP release A, so this is Pop OS, and Pop OS is running on the laptop which I showed you earlier. This is not Windows. So I am logged into my system and now I can run whatever command I want to. I readily have the access to a Linux command prompt and I can do whatever I want to. Now you will be required to type in these IPs on and on and on, right? So it is better to provide an alias for this IP. You can put an entry in the host file of your Windows machine pointing this IP to a readable address. Okay, so I'm going to call this IP Pop OS and I'm going to make an entry so that I do not have to type in this ID, because this ID is going to be a static ID. It is not going to change over time. So it's better to just abbreviate it or put an alias to this IP. Okay, so type in Notepad and open Notepad using run as administrator and head over to the host file, and your host file is located at this location. Okay, switch to all files. This is your host file, and if you can see that I already have made an entry for this particular IP. Okay, and I have put an alias of Pop OS. So if this is my PowerShell terminal, I can ping Pop OS and it will be resolved to the IP of my Ubuntu system. Now I do not have to type in this IP. This IP will be resolved using the host file. Let's use this abbreviation or alias SSH Rajat at Pop OS and type in the username and you are logged in. Okay, so now we do not have to remember the IP. So this is all about running the command line programs. But what if I want to run a GUI based program? What to do in that particular case? So Pop OS or Ubuntu systems run X11 servers which are responsible for managing the GUI. Okay, and those X11 servers are capable of forwarding such calls over to a remote machine. So the Windows will be created on the remote machine instead of the local system. Okay, so we can use that particular technique in order to create GUIs on the Windows machine itself instead of creating the Windows or the GUIs on the Ubuntu system. So all the calls will be forwarded to this system and the Windows will be created on this system. Let me show you how. So first of all, log out and fall back to the PowerShell terminal and do this SSH Pop OS again, and then the X thing. So basically this X represent that the X11 call should be forwarded to this remote session, okay, and connected normally, and you are logged in. But now under the hood you have the capability where you can just forward your X11 calls. Okay, let me show you how to do that. So first of all, you have to download a X11 server. I use Xming. So you download this piece of software and you install it, and then type in Xming in order to run this thing. If it is running, it will show up here. Okay, so as you can see, if I hover over this icon, Xming server, then colon O.O. So O.O or 0.0 is the display. Since I have only one display attached to my system, the display number is 0.0. Okay, so if you have more displays attached to your system, this number can be different, or you may be having some other number, okay, over here. So take a note of that, and from your SSH session, okay, type in export display and then the IP of your Windows machine, because the X server to which we forward our window management calls to is running on a remote server, that is our Windows server. Okay, so we are running this command in the Ubuntu system. So let's find out the IP address of Windows first of all. So again, open one more PowerShell terminal and type in ipconfig, okay, and try to locate the IP of the system. You will find it here if your system is connected via LAN. So this is my IP address. Okay, so this is my Windows system's IP address. I am going to copy it, and this is Ubuntu's terminal. Again, I'm going to paste it here and then put a colon and the display number, and from Xming's applet we know the display number is 0.0, so 0.0. okay, now using this environment variable, X11 knows where to forward all the window creation related calls. Okay, by default this display thing is set to localhost, so that is the reason your windows are created on the local system itself. Now we have overridden that particular variable, so X11 is going to forward all the calls over to Xming running on our Windows machine. Okay, so type in xclock, okay, and as you can see that this is the Ubuntu utility running on my Windows system, and I can just do whatever I want to with this particular window. Similarly, if I want to run Firefox, which by default is installed on the Pop OS system, but on my Windows systems I do not have Firefox installed. Okay, but if I want to use the Firefox installed on my Ubuntu system, I can simply do this now, and the Firefox will be opened on the Ubuntu machine but will be rendered on my Windows system, and I can use it like a normal piece of software installed on my machine. But all the data that I create in this particular session will be stored on my Ubuntu system. So basically this software is not running on my system, it is only being rendered on my system, and it is actually running on the Ubuntu system itself. I am only getting to see a broadcast of that software because the X11 server is forwarding all the window related calls over to Xming, and then Xming is displaying the content. This is how you can access both the terminal environment and the GUI environment of your Ubuntu machine from a Windows system, and you can seamlessly switch between the two without even have to resort on dual booting your actual machine. In case you have any doubt or questions or queries, make sure you leave a comment. I will try to rectify your doubts, or hit me up on Twitter or on Discord. All the links are mentioned in the video description, and I see you guys over in the next video.